Welcome back to the channel. On today's video, I'm going to give you 4 tips to help you keep collection accounts off of your credit report. So stay tuned. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Yo, thanks for joining me one more again for another video, and this time we're talking about collection accounts again. I did one video on collection accounts and it seemed like that is what everybody wants to talk about, so figured I'd do another one, maybe give y'all a few more tips to really help you deal with collection accounts. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. So I want to give you 4 tips to help you keep collection accounts off of your credit report. And we're going to start with tip number 1, how to handle collection phone calls. So let's dive right into that. So you're chilling at work, right? Or you chilling with your friends, something like that. And then you get that phone call saying, hey, this is ABC collection company, something like that. This is this such and such? Is this, whatever your name is? And you probably just hang up the phone in their face. And I mean, that's one way of dealing with it. But the key to dealing with the collection phone calls is to not give them any information. So the way I handle collection of calls, the way I've handled collection calls in the past, when I pick up the phone, I tell them, hey, I appreciate you calling me, but I can't receive phone calls like this at work, and I don't really wish to communicate with you all over the phone. Can you please send me whatever you have to the address that you have on file for me? And then that's when they're going like, okay, well, hey, well, give us the address you're at now. Nah, they're supposed to have all that. Whenever they're asking you for stuff like that, they're trying to be able to update their records so that their records will be accurate, so that whenever you try to dispute something, you have a harder time because they're going to have accurate information. The key to getting things deleted off your credit reports is you're hoping that the collection companies have outdated information, inaccurate addresses, don't have the paperwork they need to have to be able to even be reporting the collection. So if you go and you're giving them the updated information on you, whenever you go and dispute that with the credit bureaus, you're making it easier for them to come back and say, oh, no, yep, this is theirs. Yep, address verified. Yep, phone number verified. This is the correct, everything. So what you want to do is just tell them, hey, I appreciate the phone call, but don't really want to talk to y'all over the phone. I only want to communicate with y'all via mail. That way there's a paper trail, and tell them just send whatever they have to the address that they have on file for you. That should get the collection calls to stop, and it also will help you keep them with hopefully outdated information that you can use in your favor to be able to get the account deleted if you try to dispute it. So that's tip number 1. All right, tip number 2. This one is how you deal with collection letters that you get in the mail. And I'll be honest, when I used to get collection letters in the mail, I used to grab it, look at it, throw it. I mean, all right, I owe somebody some money. Cool, whatever, I'll pay it whenever I can. So that's a bad strategy. Don't do that. Don't do what I used to do. We're gonna do things the right way, in 2023 and beyond. And I'm doing things the right way too now. I'm financially responsible now. Definitely didn't used to be back then, but I got my ducks in a row now. So the way you handle collection letters that you get in the mail is, first of all, you want to read them. You want to open up your mail, because typically a new collection, they're going to send you a letter in the mail saying that, hey, we just got this collection account in our office. Unless you dispute this within 30 days, we're going to assume that it's valid. Well, let's pause right there. So what they're saying is, unless you dispute them and tell them that you have a problem with this, that you want them to validate this, that no, don't put this on my credit report until we figure this out, they're going to add it to your credit report, basically saying that we assume this is valid because you didn't dispute it. again, like I said, I used to do in the past. I just get the letter, chunk it, and then by the time I look up, that collection is on my credit report, dropping my scores 30, 40 points, and that's how you kind of get in that cycle of having a lot of collection accounts on your credit report. So what you want to do is take that letter, and then when you see it says that, unless you dispute this in 30 days, we're going to assume that it's valid. Go ahead and dispute it. You can send them a letter back, and you can attach that letter if you want and just say, hey, I absolutely dispute this debt as well as any other debt that you have on me in your office. Please validate this for me. And if you want, you can leave it at that. Or you can actually ask them for some specific things. You can ask them for, hey, I want to know who you are. I mean, you're saying you have this debt in your office. Can I learn a little bit more about your company? Send me, that you're actually registered to be collecting debts in my state. Send me whatever the original contract is for what this debt is that you're claiming that I owe, or send me however you calculated this debt, including interest, fees. I mean, let me figure out how you even got to this number that you're sending me a letter saying I owe. Those are reasonable things for you to be able to ask for. So you can go ahead and ask for all that now whenever you dispute it, or you can kind of leave it in your back pocket, just in case you need to pull it out later. But you have a right to ask for those things. If they're going to say that you owe a debt and it's going on your credit report, you have the right to be able to know that it's correct, to know that they actually have their ducks in a row, to know they're not some company trying to scam you. I mean, there's a lot of scenarios here. So what you want to do is make sure that you proactively go ahead and send a letter back immediately. Don't wait 3-4 days. Don't wait a week. The moment you have that letter, go ahead and type you a letter up saying, hey, I dispute it. Go ahead and mail that off so that they get it in plenty enough time. And then that should keep that collection from going on your credit report. And then they got to do some work on their end before they add anything. And hopefully they don't have their ducks in a row and you can keep it off your credit report for good. So that's tip number 2, how to deal with collection letters. And tip number 3, and this tip is how you dispute collection accounts that are already on your credit report. The second tip was talking about things that aren't quite on there yet to be able to play a little bit of defense, but this is talking about things that are already on your credit report. So the way I dispute any collection that is on a credit report, I got a 2-punch strategy. I'm going directly to the credit bureaus with a dispute letter saying, hey, I see ABC Collection Company on my credit report. Please explain to me what this is, because it's the credit bureau's job to be able to explain to you what's on your credit report. It's not your job to tell them what it is and tell them if it's accurate or not. That's their job. So they need to be able to prove whatever's on your credit report is accurate, because they are the people that are pushing that information out. And the Fair Credit Reporting Act states that they have to be able to make everything 100% accurate on your credit report, because if they don't, it's got to come off of there. So I send my dispute letter to the credit bureaus. At the same time, I go ahead and type up a debt validation letter, and I send that to the collection company. That way I'm hitting them both. The credit bureau, they got to do their investigation, so they got to communicate with the collection company. But I've already sent the letter to the collection company saying, hey, prove this, this, and this. And for me, that strategy has worked, because typically, if you're only disputing with the credit bureaus, you run the risk of maybe they don't respond that first round, and now you've wasted 30 days, or maybe they just automatically say it's verified somehow with their computers that they use and stuff. So when you go to both parties, you're kind of stirring up things at two different responsible parties. So usually you have a better chance of getting things deleted. And I have really simple letters. When I dispute something, I have probably the shortest dispute letter possible, because I'm not trying to get into all the this law, that law. They know what the laws are. I don't have to explain to the credit bureaus what the laws are. They just need to know that I know that there are laws out there, and then they can go ahead and do what they need to do to make sure they're upholding their end of the bargain there. So with that being said, you send your letter to both of them. You send the dispute letter to the credit bureaus just saying, hey, tell me what this is, prove to me that this should actually be on my credit report. And to the collection company, you're kind of doing that strategy where you're saying, hey, I mean, I see you're reporting something on me. Please prove to me what this is. Can you send me, the contract for what this is? Can you send me how you calculated all these fees and stuff? I mean, can you send me something that states that you even need to be reporting this on my credit report? And at the end of that debt validation letter, you're always asking for specifically what you want. If you can't send me these things, then delete this account from my credit report immediately. Same thing with the credit bureaus. If you can't prove to me what this is, then delete this collection account from my credit report immediately. You always ask for that action step at the end. That way they know, all right, you either do this or you do this. It's no in between. Just do this or do this. So then you'll have a better shot at getting what you want. So that's tip number 3. All right, tip number 4. This is going to be how you do a pay for deletion. And you probably have heard this before. This is where you go ahead and, last resort, I've tried disputing it multiple times. It won't come off. I've done everything. I'm at the end of my, I'm at the end of my emotional strength. Like at this point, I just want it off my credit report. So I'm willing to go ahead and pay them. This is how to properly do that. I have in the past done a pay for deletion, but it's always my last resort. I want to see if I can use the laws to be able to get it off my credit report first before I go just handing money out. Because typically when you're trying to repair your credit, you're trying to either do it to buy a car, buy a house, save on, some purchase you got, or just save on a loan. Or it might be something else that involves you putting some kind of money up. So I don't want to go paying all these different collection companies if you owe a bunch of them, especially when you got other things you got to pay for, like down payments on the house, closing costs on the house, earnest money on the house. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into purchasing a home. And even if you're, purchasing a car, you might have some other, expenses that go into that. Usually when I buy cars, it's, no down payment. I just get the money through my credit union. But some people like to put up a larger down payment to lower their monthly payment. So with that being said, you probably want to keep your money in your pocket. So that's why pay for deletion is usually my last resort. Plus, a lot of these collection companies, over half of them don't even do pay for deletion anymore. So it's kind of at the point where you gotta dispute it and you gotta find things wrong with it to be able to get it off. And whatever you do, don't just go and just give them your money in hopes that it's gonna come off your credit report. You wanna first do your research, look on their website, Google them, see if they have any kind of history of actually removing accounts after you pay them money. Because a lot of them that do it, they're proud of the fact that they do it, so they'll advertise it on their website, probably as a selling point, really, I think, to get you to go ahead and pay. And they'll say, hey, at the end of you paying this, we will delete it from your credit report. See if you can find that first. After you find that, you want to call the actual collection company, look up their number, make sure everything's legit before you call them, and then talk to the representative. Say, hey, I am willing to settle this debt. I'm not admitting to it. I just want to settle it because it's holding me back from being able to do things in my life. So I'm willing to pay you X amount, but you got to delete this from my credit report. That's the only way I'm going to pay you money. And you can go ahead and put the ball in their court. And then at that point, they might tell you, well, hey, we don't do that. Or, okay, hey, we're willing to do that. If they say B, hey, we're willing to do that. See if they can either send you an email, send you a letter, see if they have something they can give you in writing that is your proof that they admitted that they're going to actually delete it from your credit report. You don't want to go handing over your money without knowing that you're going to get what you want in return. I mean, I wouldn't go to a restaurant and then give them my money and then they don't give me my food back. So it's like, I'm just going to sit there until you feed me. So you can't exactly do that with collection companies. So I don't really know where that example came from. I think I'm just hungry, for real. I mean, I ain't really ate today. And I'm doing this video at like 8 o'clock right now. So, yeah. I think I need to go eat. So that's actually gonna wrap up this video. But that was the end of it. I mean, those are the 4 tips. I really hope those 4 tips help you. At the end of the day, just be persistent in whatever you are doing. Don't get played out here. Don't let people play with you. Collection companies are in it for themselves usually. They're buying debts and then they're just trying to make whatever they can off of it. They don't care about you. They don't care about your credit. They don't care about your goals. So handle it as a business transaction. Handle them without your emotions being involved, and make sure you get what you want in return. So if you like videos like this, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to try to do a video every week for you. And also head over to the podcast, Credit Repair Hangout, on Spotify and Apple, and check out some of those episodes too. Until next time, peace.